What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Insecure Season 3 finale. Why does it seem like this episode... Why does it seem like this season just started? Like, Issa, I love you, girl, and I'm going to have to tweet you on this one. I'm going to need, like, another month of Insecure. And do like everybody else does. Give us, like, a week without it to stretch it out or something. Because I am so mad that this season is over. And I'm going to have to wait a whole nother year. I'm just not feeling this shit. Anyway, here's the episode. We start off with Issa going out in the community trying to get people to sign on to be sponsors, to support the block party, and nobody is feeling it. You know, she went to one place and dude thought that she was just begging for money, like being creative. He was like, y'all Vegas getting real creative. She went to another place, another restaurant. The lady was like, sound like my money going into your pocket. Nah, I'm good. She goes to a local studio, ask them, about getting some artists to come to the block party. He gonna talk about how many bitches gonna be there. So she just got really frustrated, and we see her talking to Molly, and she's telling Molly, look, I'm gonna have to put this on hold because it's just harder than I thought it was, and Nathan had me thinking that I could just do this overnight, and it's just I can't do it. I gotta go look for a real job because I need some real money. And Molly is just not real supportive. Like, she was like, girl, basically like, yeah, it's about time you came to that conclusion, and you need a real job like the one you had. And Molly was just being real negative, and Issa's birthday's coming up, so Molly got this whole day planned for her, telling her, you be ready, I'm picking you up Saturday, and, and Issa Issa talking about something, we going to Mexico? She was like, I'm not your man. We not, no. Issa's silly. So then Molly starts talking about her job and how things are so hard, and, she just don't understand why Dorian is tripping, that she did him a favor. And Issa was like, yeah, nah, you really were, like, kind of shady to him. Like, what you did was kind of fucked up. And she was like, when a man does it, then he being aggressive and it's cool, but when a woman does it, then I'm shady. And she was like, nah, like, I'm not, like, I'm going to break that cycle, because all I'm doing is doing the same thing that a man would do, and I don't understand what the problem is. Molly is so not self-aware. Like, there are some things that are a double standard, and we would be a fool to say that wasn't the case. But some things I don't think are a double standard. I think that the way you handled it might have just been fucking shady. Like, you and Torian are a lot alike, because the reality is, had the situation been reversed, Torian probably would have done the same thing. But I don't think it's because it's a man-woman thing. I think it's because it's a personality type thing. You know what I'm saying? Or A-type personality thing. And so Molly, Issa says, look, just take him out to dinner, break bread with him, explain what happened, let him know that it wasn't nothing personal, that you really thought you were doing the right thing for the team, Molly ain't really trying to hear it. So she goes to work. She does, but when she goes back to work, she does go to talk to Torian. Come to find out, Torian is in a meeting with the partners. And, the receptionist is like, but you know what? They want you too. They're looking for you too. So, Molly comes walking up in there looking all crazy like, y'all wanted to see me? And, they were like, yeah, come on, take a seat. And they said, look, thanks to you guys, we landed that account. And basically, as your reward, we want to give you guys the account jointly and let you guys work together. You can tell by the look on Torian's face and his body language that he just ain't trying to have it. He pissed off about the whole situation. He ain't feeling it. And Molly, like, halfway ass tried to, like, wiggle out of it, but she didn't really mean it. And the partners was like, nah, y'all can handle it. Y'all good. Y'all make a good team. Y'all are good. Now, I'm pretty sure the partners picked up on the body language that Torian was putting off, because somebody on the other side of town could have seen that. But I'm also pretty sure they don't give a fuck, because they're the partners and they don't have time for the petty bullshit that associates be doing. You know what I mean? So, they don't care. But okay, so Molly it's not really a promotion, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So, it's Saturday. Molly is picking Issa up for her birthday excursion. And she's sitting there waiting for Issa to come outside. And who come rolling up with a bouquet of flowers? Nathan. I said, oh. So he just gonna show up with some flowers? And Molly must have been thinking the same thing I was thinking, because Molly jumped her ass out that daggone, Molly jumped her ass out that car so fast and said, "Excuse me, where you going?" And he was like, "I'm going to talk to Issa." She was like, "No, the fuck you ain't." She said, "Look," he was like, basically, "I appreciate where you coming from, but this between me and Issa." She said, "No, it's not." She said, "Let me explain something to you. It's Issa's birthday. We about to go have a good time. You not going to fuck it up. She's happy. She's gotten over your ass, and you not getting ready to fuck up her day. So what you need to do is take them tired ass flowers and exit stage left." Now, I feel where she was coming from. And I 100% appreciate where she was coming from. As a friend, I get it. She finally got you out her system. My girl was out here walking around last week in her fucking pajamas, tricking her way into your house just to get a glimpse of where the fuck you were. You didn't even have the common courtesy to send her a text saying, "Hey, I got some shit going on. I'm gonna be out of the loop for a minute." Like, you just totally ghosted her ass. And we about to go out for her birthday. Last year her birthday was some bullshit, so we trying to redo it. It's her 30th birthday on top of that. No, you not about to come up in here and fuck that up. As a friend, I really do understand. And I'll be honest with you, I probably would have done the same damn thing. I probably would have. I ain't gonna lie. I'd have done the same thing. Now, once the whole situation was over, said and done, I could definitely see where people would second guess that. But at the moment, I was with her. So anyway, he rolls out. I mean, he does it. He don't try to push past her. He don't try to push his way in. He pulls past it. So he goes off. Issa and Molly, they head on out, and she got her blindfolded, and Issa talking about she talking about some, we've been driving real far, are we, she's like, "I smell white people," and she's like, "I know we're not in Inglewood anymore because we've been driving too far." Come to find out, they had now, I don't understand why this took place at a cemetery. I'm gonna let that, I don't know. Maybe it's a California thing. I don't know. But what they're doing is, it's like a screen on a green. I know down here in DC, years ago, it's been forever ago now, they used to do Screen on the Green, and it was sponsored by HBO. Now, I know they do it at other places now, and it's really caught on, and they have Screen on the Green, or they have like outdoor movies like all over the place around here now. Like, you could go to the Harbor, you could go out Rockville, like a lot of places do it now. But I remember when Screen on the Green started, and like I said, it was years ago, and they used to show like they would show, a lot of times they would show classics, they would show, it was a different movie during the summer every week. It was a good time. Do you hear me? Me and my friends would meet up. One person would bring the food, one person would bring some wine, one person would bring some, we play some cards, we would chill out, because they don't start the movie till it gets dark, duh. But you want to get there early enough to be able to get a good spot. So you kind of in that, okay, we're going to sit here and we're going to hang out for a couple of hours. But it was cool. You talk to the people next to you, on your left, on your right. And you would really have a really good time. And it was really great. And let me tell you something. There was some good sleep, too. Because sometimes I fall asleep. Because some of the movies weren't that good. But, honey, that is some good outdoor sleeping, too. Do you hear me? Right under the stars. Anyway. And where we used to go was, like, right in front of on the mall area, so you would be in between you would be right near the the monument and Lincoln Memorial, that area, that's called the mall, for those who don't know. So anyway, it was great. It was a great time had by all. So that's where she took Issa. Now, here's the gag though. The movie is The Last Dragon. Now, let me tell y'all something. For all y'all babies that might be looking at my video and y'all don't know what the fuck The Last Dragon is, immediately when you get done with this video, go on to Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, wherever, and you go watch you some Last Dragon. That is a pop classic. You hear me? If you ain't down with The Last Dragon with some show enough, and you don't know nothing about nobody kissing some Converse, honey, you have not lived. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's almost like a guilty pleasure because the movie is so silly and corny, but you love it. Like, man, I love that movie. I absolutely love The Last Dragon. That is my movie. But anyway, it's obviously Issa's favorite movie too, because she lost her mind when she realized that's what they were there to do. She was like, oh my gosh. Now, and of course, when you show a movie like that, the majority of the crowd is going to be black. I mean, Motown made the movie, directed by Berry Gordy, so Vanity. So, y'all don't even know who Vanity is, do y'all? Half y'all watching this video, y'all don't even know who I'm talking about. People in my age group know who I'm talking about. But anyway, but guess who else is there, y'all? Lawrence. And Issa and Lawrence have this whole little inside dialogue. They know the movie, and they doing the dialogue back and forth at each other. And Molly is like, y'all are such nerds. And they were like, yeah, we are. And it just shows you that bond that they had. Like, they just had this connection. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get there, I missed a scene. We see Lawrence with his dad, which is really interesting because we hadn't really seen his dad a lot. Or really anything about his family, really. So we see his dad. Looks like his dad is some sort of rank in the military. He's meeting his dad on the base. And, he's saying, glad we got a chance to see each other this time. Come to find out, he just wanted Lawrence to hook his phone up. He was like, yeah, your mom upgraded us, hook me up. He was like, so you just needed me to help you set your phone up. But he asked to speak to his dad because he wanted to talk to his dad about just this little funk that he's in with relationships or whatever. And his dad, he's like, Mom, he was like, you and Mom just made it look so easy. No, he didn't say made it look. He said, you and Mom, it was just so easy. You met, you fell in love, you got married, you lived happy ever after. His father was like, really? That's what you think happened? Like, that's how you think this went down? He said, no. He said, that's the problem with y'all now. Y'all want everything easy. You don't want to work for nothing. He said, relationships are hard, and the work is hard. And he was like, but everybody I meet, either they just divorced, or they got kids, or they got this, or they got that. And his father was like, okay, well, and like, you have to be willing to work, and it's not going to be all easy, and it's not going to be all, set up in a perfect role for you. He was like, you got to be willing to work. He was like, what's up with you and Issa? He was like, well, we talk, but, that's done. He was like, is that done? He was like, yeah, it's done, Dad. And his father just was like, And you could tell his father's kind of has an opinion about it. Like, I'm not quite sure how to read it, but he has an opinion about it. And you know who plays his dad? Dresser from the 5 Heartbeats. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, immediately when you get done with this video, go look at the 5 Heartbeats. Anyway, moving on. So back to the movie night. Guess who else is at the movie night? So Lawrence is there meeting up with Chad. How about Chad girl and took him back, right? He said, I had to do a whole lot of begging and groveling. I had to buy her a Balmain purse that was expensive as hell, but she took me back. He was like, I don't watch so much Project Runway, I can make an A-line skirt or something like that, he said. And Lawrence was like, what? He was like, how did that happen? He was like, what you mean? People fuck up. People forgive each other. They make up. Because, of course, in Lawrence's mind, he can't forgive Issa for cheating. And I'm not saying he should. But to him, that is just the ultimate I can't make up with you sin, right? But Chad girlfriend took him back, and Chad ass was sleeping with strippers the night before the wedding, right? So Lawrence is really sitting there confused, like, what? Like, she took you back? You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe she took you back. Kelly is there. So Kelly was holding that seat, y'all. Kelly is being Kelly. Kelly is fucking hilarious. She talking about, look at us, we black, we single, we doing the thing. And they were like, single? I thought you was messing with, old boy. And she was like, who? They was like, oh boy, from Coachella. She said, oh yeah, no, I had to let that go. She said, damn, I missed the joke. Fuck it, I done fucked it up now. But anyway, it was funny what she said. And then she was saving all this space, and they was like, Kelly, it's just 3 of us. We don't need all this space. She was like, girl, I don't want no Coachella repeat. I don't want to beat up no white people till after the movie this time. Then Kelly said something. They were talking about babies. Oh, Tiffany. Tiffany made her the godmother of the baby. And they were like, yeah, so she was like, they were like, oh, that's sweet. Because remember, they had that big blow up with the baby shower. She was like, yeah, but now Tiffany dies. I got to take the baby. If I wanted babies, I'd have kept the last one. Honey. Kelly asked, and she be dropping them, y'all. She's fucking hilarious. She is hilarious. Oh my gosh, she's funny. So, Molly is in line getting her snacks for the movie. Guess who else is at the daggone movie, the little screen on the green and Last Dragon movie? Damn Jared. Y'all remember Jared from the first season? Jared that Molly tripped out on. Jared that admitted that he slept with men in his past, and Molly was like, I can't process that. I can't get past it, and it's a wrap, and I'm done. Yeah, that Jared. Well, Jared's doing well. He's a regional manager now. Remember, he worked for Enterprise. That was another problem she had with him, that he worked for Enterprise. But he's a regional manager now. And some dude walks up to Jared and was like, yeah, man, come on, you almost ready? We got to get to our seat. Molly mad because Molly automatically assumes that that is Jared's date, right? So she walks off all quick. She goes back and tells them. She's like, "Yeah, Jared. Guess who I just saw? I saw Jared, and he here with his boyfriend. See, I knew I was right. My instincts are on point. I knew how my instincts were on point." I said, "Molly, your ass be on some shit." Come to find out later on that is Jared's brother, and that Jared was at the screen on the green with his girlfriend. They were on a double date. The brother and his wife, him and his girlfriend. So of course they looking at Molly like, oh, his boyfriend, huh? She was like, whatever. So when the movie starts, here come Lawrence bringing some raisinets over to Issa, talking about some happy birthday. That's Issa's. That's Issa's. I guess raisinets are her favorite or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, you bought me my favorites." They doing again that whole reminiscing thing, and they sit down and talk for a few minutes. Molly and Kelly pretending like they ain't listening, but they was listening, and they had a good conversation. And then Lawrence was like, "Well, I guess I better go back." They talked about the project. Issa was saying how she just gonna put it on hold for a while, and he was like, "Well, why?" And she said, "It's just a lot harder than I thought, and I just got some other things I really need to do or whatever." She said, "It's just harder than I thought it was going to be, and everybody keeps rejecting me and turning me down, and it's just hard." And what's funny is I'm thinking, hard like when Lawrence was trying to get his app started and he kept getting rejected and he sort of got into a little funk and a little bit of a depression. Hard like that, Issa? Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying that Issa wasn't right for being mad at Lawrence for sitting on the couch. All I'm saying is now you kind of understand that it was a hard process and that he wasn't just sitting on his ass not doing nothing. He really just got in a funk about it, right? Now you understand how that works, right? So anyway, so they talk about whatever. So he gets up and he leaves. And when the movie's over, you see her looking for him, right? She looking for Lawrence, That's when they ran into Jared and everything. And they head on out. Good time had by all. Like I said, it can't be a bad time when it's the last dragon. Oh, I knew why I was pausing. So the lady who did the screen on the green, she actually works for Tiffany. And come to find out, she was at the baby shower. Her and Lawrence kind of had a nice little dialogue at the baby shower when they were looking at Tiffany's pregnancy pictures, which I think I forgot to mention in my review, that Tiffany had recreated all these celebrities' pregnancy pictures. She had Beyonce, she had Serena, she had Cardi B, and then of course she had her own portrait. But these weren't pictures, they were portraits. They were actually painted oil portraits. So Lawrence and old girl had kind of had a conversation, a little dialogue at the baby shower. So it was her. So Issa went up to her afterwards and was like, this was just so dope. Like, how did you put all this together? And she said, it was really hard, the venue and everything. Mind you, they were in the cemetery. So, yeah, I'm going to, again, let that one go. But she was like, she said, yeah, it was really hard. And Issa said, I'm trying to put something like this together in Inglewood. I'm trying to put together a block party. And it's just been really frustrating, with all the permits and everything. And she said, girl, I understand. Like, don't even worry about it. And she was like, but I like what you're doing. It sounds kind of dope. And so Issa feels a little invigorated after talking to her and seeing that, yeah, it's hard work on the front end, but the payoff is great. Because she said, I just thought that, she said, we see these types of things all the time. And I just thought this would be something great, to bring for black folk. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's show a couple of black movies and get black folk to come out here and do something like this. So we see Issa and Molly back at the apartment. They're back at, are they at Molly's apartment or Issa's apartment? They're at Issa's apartment. And they're talking. They're having like a little sleepover or whatever. And Molly, I don't think she slips up because I don't think she felt like she did anything wrong, which again, like I said, I would have done the same thing. But Molly tells Issa that Nathan came by looking for her and she sent his ass packing. And Issa was like, "You did what?" And she was like, "Yeah, girl, he showed up with some old Tide flowers. I told him to roll out." And she was like, "Why would you do that?" And she said, "Because, like, we were going out to have a good time and I didn't want him to fuck up your day." So, I understand Issa being upset. Because, again, if I was on the other side, I would have been upset. But I understand why Molly did what she did. But anyway, they end up having like a little argument. Issa lets her know. She said, "You know what? You are really having a moment right now. Like, you've been real negative lately, and you've really just been you have been assuming the worst intentions in everybody, and like you've really been tripping, and you really need to get your shit together because right now you're just being real negative and you really fucking up." And she called her out on how she been handling shit at work. Excuse me, she was like, "The way you handling stuff at work, like, you wrong. Like, what you're doing, you are wrong how you handling your work situation." And so you saw Molly was just kind of like, "What? Like, what's she talking about?" Now, mind you, like I said, I see both sides of that coin because if I was Issa, I'd be mad. But if I was Molly, I would have made the same damn decision. But her calling Molly out on how she handling shit at work wasn't wrong because Molly has been tripping. And like I said, Molly is just not aware of what she does. She's just so in her own world. She don't even see that she really making some bad decisions and really fucking up. So we see Molly at work. She goes to talk to Torian about the case, and Torian was like, "Oh, you good, you got it, you on your own now. Like, I told the partners you can handle it by yourself. I'm on a different case now." Come to find out, Torian is working with the two chicks that Molly blew off to work with Torian. So you really are man out, and that's what Issa told her when they were arguing. Issa said, you're gonna make partner, but you're gonna be old and lonely." And that sort of like slapped her in the face because that's what happened. She's looking at the three of them all cozied up in the office working on this project together, and she's by herself. So it's sort of like Issa, prophesized that happening, and then it happened at work like the next day. Issa is out, and Issa actually hooked up with old girl from the Screen on the Green, and she's helping her, giving her some pointers, helping her come up with some stuff to help her get started on her project. And Issa's like, "I really appreciate your time." And she was like, "Girl, I really feel like you're doing something great. Any way I can help, don't worry about it. I got you." So Issa was like, "Girl, you need a ride home? You want to lift? I can lift. I'm lifting." She was like, "Nah, I got a date." And when she said that, I knew it was going to be Lawrence. I knew it was Lawrence when she said, "I got a date." I said, "It's that damn Lawrence." Yup. And it was. Her and Lawrence was going out on a date, and they looked like they was kind of clicking it a little bit, y'all. They was hitting it off, right? Some things must have seeped through Molly's brain because Molly called Andrew to apologize. And she told him, "I've really been tripping lately. My last relationship must have fucked me up more than I thought." And let me tell you something. Andrew wasn't doing nothing really for me until this scene when he had his hair out, honey, and he was sitting in that little t-shirt. I said, "Oh, Andrew, looking like a cutie. I might have to reevaluate some things." He was looking fine with his hair out, honey. But Molly, he was real cold to her. He was like, "Molly, look, I got stuff to do. What you need?" You know what I mean? And he listened to her. He heard her out, and you don't really see where the conversation goes from there, but he let her finish. Like, he heard her out. You know what I'm saying? And so you see that maybe she sort of mended some fences there a little bit. Issa comes home, and the flowers that Nathan tried to bring her the day before sitting on her doorstep. And later on that night, we see Issa and Nathan talking. And Issa was like, and she got her attitude, and she's sitting there like, what? What the fuck happened? Now, what it sounds to me is that Nathan deals with depression. Now, far be it for me to try to diagnose anybody. But he says that he just has times where he just gets really down. He never used the word depressed. He said, I just get real fucked up. I get really down. And he said I had to go back to Houston and just get myself together. I was just kind of fucked up. Like, I was just kind of going through something. And he said that happens to me sometime where I just need to get away. I just need to, and he never used the word depressed, but I'm listening and I'm like, okay, so She said, so basically, so you mean you blew me off because you was in a bad mood? And I'm like, nah, he was going through a moment. He was probably having an episode, And, but what I'm proud of Issa is that Issa was like, yeah, I need to go think. I need to go process some things. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later. And Nathan was like, I mean, Issa, basically, can we be friends? He didn't say that, but basically, like, can we be friends? She was like, I don't know. I gotta think about it. And she went into her apartment, and I was proud of her because she didn't come back. She didn't turn around. She didn't call him. She looked around her apartment, and she put her apartment together. Because, she still half moved in. She unpacked the boxes. She hung up pictures. She took the plastic off the couch. Like, she moved in. You know what I'm saying? She poured herself a glass of wine and sat on her little couch. And then she did, let me tell you something. Only real Last Dragon fans would get what she did. She pulled out her albums, right? Shout out for having vinyl. And she pulled out the Last Dragon soundtrack. And she played that song that played at the end. That's from The Last Dragon. How I know? Because I got the soundtrack on vinyl. Boop. The song is The Glow, and it is from the soundtrack. So I said, yes, honey, you better play that Last Dragon soundtrack. And shout out to Regina King for directing this episode. She probably has directed more than this episode, but I just happened to catch her name this time. So anyway, that is the season finale. Once again, they have left us hanging. Not as hard as in past seasons where, the cliffhangers were really like, oh my gosh. But we definitely, what's going to happen with Issa and Nathan. What's going to go. Oh, she interviewed. Dang, why I miss all that? She did go on an interview. She interviewed with B Crew, the people from the job interview with the music and everything. She interviewed with them. But of course, whenever you're dealing with nonprofits, and I worked for a nonprofit before, so I understand exactly what he was saying. He was like, look, I'll send your name up the chain, but I don't know what our budget is going to look like. And the bad thing about working for nonprofits is that your job is just not guaranteed from year to year. Like, you got to get grants. You have to constantly ask for money to come in. You don't make a lot of money because your salary is based on what they can raise, honey. When I worked for the nonprofit, I believed in the work we were doing, but I believed in being able to pay my bills too, honey. That didn't last long. I ain't working around. I couldn't do it. I worked at a nonprofit. I was there for less than 2 years, honey. I couldn't do it. I'm all for working for the people, but I like to live too. You know what I'm saying? I like to be able to, go out every once in a while. Anyway, so that is the finale, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Talk to y'all later.